Hi everyone, it's me, Crafty Witch, and welcome back to my channel. So today's video is actually a video request from one of my subscribers. They wanted me to do a video about Dragonfly Medicine or Dragonfly Magick. So here it is. Now when I say Dragonfly, I'm also including damselflies into that description or into our discussion today because they are closely related to one another, but there are some differences. Damselflies, their bodies aren't as long as a dragonfly, and their wings fold up into kind of like a little steeple shape above their bodies, whereas with the dragonfly, their wings are like horizontal and spread out from their body, like the way a helicopter does, for instance, with their propellers. But with a damselfly, their wings will fold up above their bodies like a little steeple. That being said, I do have one of my smaller books of shadows here. It's in point form and the notes are kind of like in no order whatsoever, so I might be all over the place. I'm going to be referring to it, so when you see me look down, that's what I'm doing. I'm going to be looking at this book of mine. Now, dragonflies have found their way into various cultures around the world, and it's so cool to see that. They're found in various myths and legends, North American indigenous people, for instance, as well as South American indigenous people, like the Mayans have legends about dragonfly, as well as the Celtic people, as well as Japanese people. In fact, in Japan, there's an island called the Island of Dragonflies. Like, how cool is that? So they have found their way into various cultures around the world, and there's numerous different teachings, and there's some commonalities with their teachings too that do spread around the world as well. So one of the gifts that Dragonfly brings to humanity is the ability to see through illusion. You know, you can't pull the wool over their eyes. They're the kind of people, if somebody has strong dragonfly medicine about them, you can't fool them, you can't lie to them. They're going to know the truth. They just know. They'll see right through it. They'll see right through you, and they're going to be able to see right to the heart of the matter. So don't try to lie to them or fib to them or keep things from them, because they can see right through that. And that's a really amazing gift to have. But on a more spiritual level, that's kind of more on of a mundane type level, right? You could use that gift whether you're in school, work, relationships, that kind of thing. But on a more spiritual level, they can see right through the illusion of what we call our waking life, and they can see right through to the spirit world and to the teachings that encompasses, right? So it's like, or that encompasses rather, they can see right through the illusion of all this fluff that is around us, right? And they can see right through to the spiritual teachings that are there for us to learn. So even if they can't articulate that, or maybe if they don't recognize that on a conscious level, it's there on a very deep subconscious level. Another gift that Dragonfly brings to humanity is that of transformation. So when it comes to things like change, transformation, rebirth, any kind of personal development, self-development, whether it's on a spiritual or personal level, whether it's on a work level, educational kind of level, that is your totem to tap into if that's something that interests you, or if it's something that you are going through. Now, with regards to changes, Dragonfly can change at the drop of a hat. They can be going in one direction and boom, go off into a totally new direction, and it doesn't faze them. They can embrace change very, very well. They can cope with it very well, and you're going to hear some crunching, and that will be the cat eating. I can't help that. We got to keep the cat food in my room because my son's dog has severe allergies, and if he eats anything other than his special food, he breaks out in these horrible hives, and yeah, it's not good. So we got to hide the cat food from the dog. So we keep it in my room, and now I've got one of my cats crunching away. So if you hear that, that's what that is. Sorry about that. But anyway, getting back to Dragonfly. So when it comes to changes, if you are dealing, for instance, with a lot of sudden changes, like really massive kind of life-changing moments, things are happening to you, maybe you're feeling overwhelmed, you don't know which way is which, you feel like maybe you're being pulled in 1,000 different directions by 1,000 different people, and it's almost like you don't know if you're up or down or sideways kind of thing, call upon Dragonfly. Dragonfly Medicine, the spirit of the dragonfly, they can change at a drop of a hat and go in one direction and another direction, and it does not faze them. And when they go through these changes, it's a very calm kind of energy. They can change at a drop of a hat, absolutely. And they can be very swift in their decisions, and they can move forward or sideways or backwards, whatever, kind of like a helicopter. But they do so with ease. They do so with confidence, and they're not fazed by it. It doesn't like ruffle their feathers. It doesn't get them all freaked out or anything like that. So if you are going through a lot of changes in your life, and maybe it's something that is like getting you all anxious and you're getting kind of freaked out, call upon Dragonfly. They can handle change, and they do so calmly and methodically. So that is a very powerful totem to tap into if you're going through a lot of change, transformation, that kind of thing, especially if things are coming at you like left, right, and center, and you're kind of like, oh my God, where do I go? What do I do? Call upon Dragonfly in that regard. Another thing about Dragonfly is that they're also known to be messengers from the spirit world. So they can bring messages to and from the spirit world. So if you want to work with the dead, if you want to journey to the spirit world, you can call upon Dragonfly. They can also be called upon, like if you choose to work with the Fae, they can take you to that realm as well, and they can be like your guide to and from that realm. So depending which realm you want to work with, you can call upon Dragonfly in those regards as well. What else can I tell you about them? Oh, if you're into dream magic, whether it's lucid dreaming or just dream magic in general, you can call upon Dragonfly. They're like between the worlds kind of thing. So when it comes to dream magic, they're a very powerful ally to have as well. They also represent wisdom and enlightenment. They do correspond to the water element as well as the air element. It takes 2 years for a dragonfly from the time it is born, hatched, whatever, in the water. It's this little tiny itty bitty thing to the dragonfly we see flying around with their, beautiful colors and their 4 wings and all that. It takes 2 years for them to get to that point, from being this little thing scudding around in the water to being this magnificent dragonfly that we see. That's a very long time, and therefore that whole personal transformation, that patience that is required, you can tap into that element of dragonfly within you when you are going through your own transformation as well. So just keep that in mind. They also represent like inspiration, good luck, prosperity. Some people, when they go fishing, they'll call upon Dragonfly as well for good luck in that regard. Young people that have Dragonfly energy or the totem or whatever you want to call it, when they're really young, could be from child right through to maybe their early 20s or so, they could be very very emotional, or very like emotionally very emotional. I don't know how to word it any other way. And very passionate about life and about, something that they believe in, and they'll like vocalize it very much. So as they do get older and as they do mature, they still will, share their emotions and their thoughts, and they'll still be passionate about things, but it's more refined, it's more diplomatic or more mindful. It's not kind of the just that emotions, and that really taps into that water element too, as well as like divination and things like that. So anything that corresponds to the water element with regards to emotions, you can really tap into the dragonfly energy with that. Dragonfly might also come into your life if, for instance, you bottle up your emotions. You don't express your emotions. You don't express your thoughts, how you're feeling, things like that. If you tend to bottle things up, they'll start coming to you, and it could be that, hey, it's time, you need to express yourself. You need to, work through your emotions. And this is kind of our segue into grief work too, because if there's maybe a significant loss in your life, calling upon Dragonfly to help guide you through your own grieving process could be a very powerful ally on your journey when it comes to working through your own grief. So part of that grieving process is being in tune with our emotions, expressing our emotions, working through our emotions and our thoughts. And that's where we can definitely call upon Dragonfly for that. What else can I tell you about Dragonfly? Hopefully we're not shaking the table too much. This is my little book of shadows here. So if you are like in school, maybe you're doing like a research paper or something, you need that mental clarity, you need to maybe write a paper, whatever the case might be, you can call upon Dragonfly to help be your ally during that time as well. What else can I tell you? Dragonfly people can be very territorial, but they're not aggressive. They don't have like warrior energy about them, but they can be very territorial, and they'll let you know if you've maybe kind of overstepped your bounds with them. They do have firm boundaries. So if you kind of done something that they didn't appreciate, that they might let you know, and they won't have any qualms letting you know, but it's not aggressive. So they'll let you know, but it's not like they're gonna, punch you in the face or anything like that. They're not aggressive people. It's not like a warrior energy at all. They don't typically have that kind of energy with them. But they can be, like I said, very territorial. Usually they're patients. They have incredible patience. Like I said, that whole 2-year cycle with their own personal development and growth. What else? Their downfall can be pride. It's okay to be proud of your accomplishments and things you've done and all that kind of stuff, but don't let your pride lure you into a trap. So, for instance, in certain mythologies about Dragonfly, it is believed that at one time that they were full-size dragons, and they were tricked, or dragon was tricked to transform itself into what we see now as a dragonfly. And it did that, but then couldn't change itself back into a dragon. And it done that because it was kind of being prideful, like, oh yeah, I can do that, that kind of thing. So don't let your pride put you into a predicament that you may not be able to get out of. So be mindful of that. With every animal teaching, there's always, all these wonderful lessons we can learn from that, as well as, we all have our own weaknesses and our own downfalls, and it's no different with these different animal teachings and that kind of thing. The numbers that are sacred to Dragonfly Medicine are 2 and 4. And again, if you want to work with like the whole rebirth, life, death, growth, all that kind of thing, that whole cycle of life, you could call upon Dragonfly for that. If you want to work with like angelic type magic, you can call upon Dragonfly as well. Some believe that dragonflies are actually fairies that have shapeshifted into the form of a dragonfly, so that when you do see them, it could be the Fae coming to maybe check you out, see what kind of person you are, maybe get a little bit closer to you, that kind of thing. So that's something to keep in mind as well. They are very fast moving people. They can change it, like I said, at a drop of a hat. They can move from one direction to the next, and they're normally very calm about that. But do remember to rest when you need to rest. They will challenge dragon people, or dragonfly people rather, will challenge like old ways of thinking. They might challenge the status quo. They might challenge dogma or anything that they find stagnant, whether it's cultural teachings, religious teachings, it could be policies in the workplace. You know, they will challenge those things, and that's a good thing, because we do need to bring change so that we don't become stagnant. Anything that is stagnant dies. Life will not flourish in stagnant water. You know, you need to have movement, you need to have change. So that's a good thing. They are typically, dragonfly people are graceful, they're confident, they're patient. They also represent balance. If things are feeling like they're helter-skelter in your life, topsy-turvy, call upon Dragonfly to bring balance into your life and to help you navigate through all these different changes and directions that you might be getting pulled in, and to do so with calm and without anxiety. So that is something you can implement. They also represent having like a fresh perspective, abundance, fertility, protection. They will warn you of danger, and also just being mindful of their own emotions and that kind of thing. So that's pretty much all I have in my little book of shadows here about Dragonfly Medicine. I think after when was it? It was shortly after my father had passed away. I did have an encounter with Dragonfly Medicine, and it was pretty amazing. I can remember I was sleeping in my room, and this was in my old house, and I was dreaming about Dragonfly. And so Dragonfly had come into the room, and I just remember hearing its wings, and like it was so loud and it seemed so real. And then I woke up and there literally was a dragonfly in my room, and when I turned on the light, like it was like up towards the ceiling, and it was like flying around. It was trying to find a way out of the house, and it was weird because I had been dreaming about Dragonfly, and then it showed up and stuff. So then after that, I started working with Dragonfly, just doing like meditations and things like that. So some of the ways that you can incorporate Dragonfly magic into your practice would be through doing journeying work. If you like, you can maybe listen to some shamanic drumming. There's various videos on YouTube about that, where it just has the drumming, and you can take a journey and maybe go meet the spirit of the dragonfly, and they can, you know, share with you some of their wisdom. What else can you do? You can do like meditations. You could do dream magic with them, different types of dream work. You could do different kinds of rituals for them. You can just go and learn about them and study them out in nature if you like. They are a very powerful ally. They're not technically an animal, they're an insect, but people do have different insects as totems, such as like maybe spiders or tarantulas or ladybugs or whatever the case might be, and they are as worthy and as valuable as any other life form on this planet. So I hope you did enjoy this video with me rambling on and referring to my notes and shaking the camera and probably getting all tongue-tied. But anyway, I hope wherever you might be, that you have a blessed life, and that you are happy and healthy, and that life is good to you. Ciao for now.